know you've been sneaking around town. You've been hanging around town, and you know you've been sneaking around.
Well, that used to be. It sounds like what unicorns frolicking in a lush green field. I wrote that bio like 4 years ago or 5 years ago when I can't even remember. I don't know. It's just
well, I mean,
please.
I think if you're able to kind of define a band in a few words, then the band's doing something wrong. Personally, so I mean, there's no real way to describe a band that's unique, and that's what we're trying to do. So.
I see it as like a little bit of an anti-biography,
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of charming. I think there's been a fun, comical sort of element to the band which we've never ever wanted to lose, and so we took that opportunity to put that in the bio. No, it's fun. It's part of what makes us.
Yeah, it kind of sums up our attitude.
And where's the other one? It sounds like kittens meowing as they wake up.
Yeah,
I like that.
Sounds like your neighbours fighting through. Sounds like your neighbours.
It sounds like a whole bunch of like subtle things that people would hear and like. It smells like the sound. It sounds like the smell of rain. How's that? Yeah. It sounds like dolphins joshing in the surf. Yeah, it's
just fun.
It sounds nice. Yeah.
You've been hanging around town, yeah, you know you've been sleeping around.
That's quite a convoluted story, actually. I started the band with Ollie, our old drummer, 7 years ago, almost to the day, in 2007, and that's because our previous band had just kind of split up, and we started just messing around, and eventually kind of had enough songs to play a gig, and we started playing a few gigs every now and again. And then when we started to record, we kind of fleshed the band out because we added more instruments here and there, and then we added members, and then those members left, and then everyone that's sitting on this couch today has played in another band before that has played with another reincarnation of a band that we have been in.
It's pretty incestuous.
Yeah. So we all know each other from the music scene in Joburg. Yeah. And then we became and then yeah. So when it came time to fill the spots that previous members had kind of left open, it was just a kind of a logical choice because we knew each other. What's quite nice about this band is that I don't write the songs on my own and bring them to the band. We write them all together, which is not unique. A lot of bands do it like that, and we are one of those bands. So when I'm on stage, I never feel like I'm representing the band because I feel we represent it together. We're all as one. Yeah. The lyrics. So like we write everything together. So if that's one person bringing a guitar riff or a piano melody or whatever, we kind of just start jamming it, and then as the song fleshes out, I'll mumble a melody over that. Or what I often do is when I like see a phrase or something that I think could be cool in a song, I'll jot that down on my phone so that the next time we get to practice, I'll have a melody, and then I'll just look at my phone, and then I'll have a line to sing, and then I'll just kind of ad-lib the rest of the lyrics on top of that while we're playing the song and we're fleshing it out. That's how the melody goes, and then lyrics, if I don't get them on the spot, I'll just kind of write them and I record them actually.
Yeah.
It's a
Jake's
tricky-
eyes go.
You don't sleep. You don't
It's a tricky
sleep
thing.
much.
It's a tricky thing, but it's fun because what happens is you go to varsity, you start a career, and so you develop this job and you do these jobs, and then at the same time you have this passion for music and playing in bands, and you don't think about it until the band kind of takes more and more of your time. But this is all something that we want to do, so we make the time. You've everything kind of evolves and develops itself around the time that you need, and it's a hustle, but we make it happen, and we enjoy it. And what is really great is that our day jobs, in a sense, kind of feed into our world and feed into being in a band. So the skills, like El as an editor, like he edits the music videos, as an example. So we all kind of bring something professionally as well to the table. Which is
I'll take you some time. I love listening to Tom talk.
Thanks, because words, I'm so good at them.
It's true.
The new album it's called Youthless, and it's strange because it's grown. We've taken quite a lot of influence from international stuff, Australian bands, other bands, more rock stuff. So in a way, it's become more serious, but Youthless being the kind of the title saying, growing up, coming from the. See, I hate these guys. It's growing up. It's growing up. It's kind of a coming of age, got a coming of age sense to it. So, and it's a little more serious, but it still has the lightheartedness. It still has the fun, but it's more serious.
Yeah,
It's a little rocky as well.
Yeah, it's got a very intended theme. It's called Youthless, and it's all about kind of the loss of youth and how we're getting older, but it seems like everyone else around us is staying the same age or getting younger even. So, I mean, based on that, obviously we've grown up a little bit since the last album. So the sound has definitely progressed in that sense. Lyrically, it probably hasn't much. But yeah, I think it's a natural progression. It's our third album, but as this lineup of people, it's our second. So.
And yeah, we're pretty stoked that we haven't just kind of rehashed the last album. Like, it's not just going, cool, well, that album did well, so
that worked,
let's
so
just
we'll
make
do it
that
again.
again. So we haven't done that at all. Like, we have moved on quite a bit.
I think it's got a little bit of everything, which I think is kind of the exciting part, is that it's gone to kind of new places, it's kept some of the old stuff, it's literally a little bit of everything. But the crazy part is that I don't know whether we really have a good sense, or an objective sense of what we have. We just think it's awesome, and we're proud of it, and I think because we're proud of it and we'll be behind it. Let's start with Jake.
Okay. A few things, being part of a band that writes really cool music and can get together in a room and jam out songs and come out with a quality product at the end. That's exciting for me. I like the whole process, songwriting and recording. Playing huge shows. I mean, I used to play in bands. I used to play clubs only, sometimes to only the barman. And now I'm playing to. I think we've all been there, but now we're playing to thousands of people at shows, and that's just been a bit of a mind fuck. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm constantly thinking back to that kind of 10, 11-year-old version of me who wanted to be in a band and was playing with friends and learning Nirvana covers. And for me, every band or everything that I've done, thankfully, has gotten bigger and bigger and more grown up and more professional and more exciting. and where we are now as a band is so cool for me. When you look back on, you know, the amount of time that you've put into this as a musician, and the fact that you were once at a point where you really were into certain bands and you loved what they did, and you sort of went out and watched their shows, and then now when you meet people and you get the sense that maybe that's what you are to them, is so exciting, and it's so gratifying that you're producing something that somebody else likes and appreciates and wants to enjoy, you know?
Yeah. Same. No, I suppose, yeah, I mean, there are a whole bunch of things that are rad. I don't know if I can pinpoint the raddest, but it is pretty cool that every weekend just about we get to travel somewhere new, and kind of we get to have a good time in a new place. I know a lot of friends that I went to varsity with in high school with. On a Friday night, they go, cool, let's go to Greenside again. And we aren't doing that. We're like, yeah, we're playing this weird pub in Potchefstroom that we've never been to before. And it's novel, and it's 9 times out of 10 a lot of fun. And you get to do it with your best friends. So it's a really special thing to be a part of. And you're part of a scene that yeah, like I said, you've always looked up to. And now we're meeting and hanging out with some of the people that have been idols for us. So it's a very special thing. Come up with something different everyone than we on this.
I like the free stuff.
It's on this classic.
Yeah, I don't know. As I said, it's very hard to pinpoint like one thing. It's like the whole experience has been very, very unreal. So it is like you can't really pinpoint one thing. But I think traveling around a lot, meeting and working with really cool people, making rad music, traveling with mates that you dig, having a good time, and yeah, pretty sure. I would say use all the tools that are available, like Bandcamp. I mean, just like how you can make cheap movies or videos or anything these days, you can make albums or EPs very relatively cheap, and that's getting your music out there. And then once that does well, then you can fund a good album. So there's so many tools out there, Facebook, Twitter, and Bandcamp, stuff like that. I mean, it's just getting your name out there is very easy. So use the tools before just signing your music career away or your life away, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of where we are technologically in this day, is that you don't need thousands and thousands of rands to get a decent recording. Even if it's just a 3-track demo or something, you can do that for a couple of grand these days, and that's awesome. And you can get a good sound as well.
Spend the time writing and working on your songs.
Yeah,
making them catchy.
But yeah, be that musician that you want to be. I think we're in an exciting time where you can be what you want to be. You don't have to fit in with a kind of mass media appeal. You can do something strange, and you can get the people to follow you, and the people will find you today where they couldn't have found you 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And then my advice would be just recognize your limitations, so that you know realistically where you are and what you can do and what is possible, but also so that you can know how to break those limitations and how you can change them and how you can make them work for you.
And like number one rule I think for me is just don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Especially in South African music scene, there's no space to be a dick. Like you be a dick to one person, that story goes around, then the next person you want to work with goes like, oh, I heard you're a bit of a dick.
Yeah, they won't say it to your face.
Yeah, exactly.
But when they screen your quote, like, oh, I heard that guy was a dick. Yeah, and I think it's super cliche to say it, but don't stop believing and don't give up. Obviously, to a point. I mean, a lot of people think that we're an overnight success. Everyone's like, you guys did so well so quickly, blah, blah, blah. And it did seem like an overnight thing. But I mean, like I said earlier, we've been doing this for 7 years, so it hasn't been quick. And a lot of bands, most big bands, will say the same thing. They've been playing in empty clubs and
No,
Why
no,
direction? They probably
No,
did
like-
pretty well.
Lady Gaga existed as another thing for years and years
Well, she
and
was
years
a
and years.
songwriter. I don't know if
Yeah,
she's
she
the right
performed
example.
as Stephanie, whatever her name is. So that's the thing, is that these people, you have to see that it accumulates, and you
Yeah.
have to see that it'll develop over time, and it's not going to happen quickly.
Yeah, like even Dave Grohl, he's playing this band called like Nirvana or something.
Is that far? No?
But
He was in bands since he was 12. Do you know what I mean? So like, it doesn't happen overnight, you know?
when I was in primary school, everyone used to typix names of bands onto the space case. And a lot of people used to write Nirvana. They just spell it around.
Alright. I guess that's it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.